Is it too late to get started in real estate investing, cash flowing real estate investing, the kind that can actually make you a lot of money in monthly cash flow? Well, I'm here to tell you that there's one way to do it in our current market. My name is Monica Main. I'm a serial entrepreneur and successful real estate investor. And years ago, just like any other real estate investor, usually how real estate investors start, I started off with single family residences, or SFRs as we call it in the business. And right now, a lot of people have been asking me, hey, Monica, I want to get started in residential real estate investing. Like, how should I do it? Like, how does that work? Well, unfortunately, right now it's very difficult to make this work. And the reason being is because interest rates are ridiculously high. In a lot of cities in the United States, prices have not started coming down quick enough yet. In some areas, they've pretty much crashed, but other areas are not coming down fast enough. So it's just very difficult to be able to make the numbers work when it comes to traditional real estate investing with regular tenants. Now, the exception of course, is if you want to get started in, say, for example, apartment building real estate, you can definitely do well with that. But again, you're going to be looking at maybe it's not worthwhile with the interest rates because you're looking at maybe having to get a 20 to 24 plus unit apartment building to be able to squeak by some kind of cash flow. But what if I told you that there's an exception to the rule? There's a way that you can make 10 times more on your cash flow for your properties, understanding one little known secret strategy that most people will not ever share with you because most people simply don't know it exists. Are you ready for this? All right, well, first let me share with you kind of the area that I'm looking at right now to show you kind of what you're looking at as far as how much money it would cost if you tried to do a traditional rental versus doing it the new way, the 10x way, if you will, all right? So let me go ahead and show you. I have to get my trusty glasses on, and I'm going to show you on my laptop exactly what I'm looking at. So right now I'm on Zillow.com, and on Zillow, I'm going to go ahead and I typed in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm going to remove the boundary. And so basically what I'm looking at for the purposes of this new kind of real estate are 4-bedroom, 2-bath houses. So I'm going to go ahead and do 4-bedroom, 2-bath, apply. All right. And then because it's Atlanta, Atlanta is going to have more need than, say, the outskirts of Atlanta. And I'm going to talk about need as we go along and exactly what I'm talking about. So we're going to go ahead and look for our 4-bedroom, 2-bath houses. I want to be able to cap off the price at about maybe 500, say 550. Go ahead and cap off the price. And then I want to be as close to, I think, the center of Atlanta as possible. So let's just take a look at some opportunities here and see what we got. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and zero in on Atlanta. Now, mind you, this is based on, obviously, you having done some research first to find the need with this particular kind of real estate investing. Now, you're probably wondering, what are you talking about, Monica? What kind of real estate investing are you talking about? I only know of the traditional kind where you buy a house and you turn around and you rent it out to somebody and you hope that they pay you the rent. And if they do, great. You can make a couple $100s a month. If they don't, you're screwed because you still have to come out of pocket for your mortgage, your taxes, and your insurance. Plus, you have to now hire an attorney to evict them out. And who knows how long that's going to take. That really sucks. And you can really lose your butt when it comes to investing in real estate, especially with single family residences. But what if I told you that there's a guaranteed way to get the money through the government every single month like clockwork, and you don't have to worry about any evictions ever because these people don't have tenants' rights under the regular, I guess, criterion that you'd have to deal with when it comes to tenants' rights. It's like the best of all worlds when it comes to this new kind of 10x real estate. So let's first pick out our house. And I'm just going to grab just a house that I feel, let's see, let me zoom back out again just a little bit because I definitely want to. All right, so I want to be able to see, and I want to be able to narrow in on a specific place. And again, it's going to be based on need with what we call this particular kind of real estate strategy. Now I'm going to talk kind of through it while I'm showing you these houses. So it's basically sober living or transitional community housing. You do not need a license for it in most states. Arizona, you do. New Jersey's kind of iffy on whether you do or not, and there's certain parts of Ohio, like Cincinnati, for example, where they want you to have a license to do this. But as long as you're not offering therapy, or you have psychiatrists on site or coming in to do group sessions, or you don't have medical doctors or nurses coming in and out of the facility, then you should not need certification or a license in the area that you are. So say you do live in Atlanta and you're like, okay, this sounds like a really fantastic idea. I think might want to do this. So the very first thing that we're going to do is look at a house, and we want it to have small square footage. So 4-bedroom, 2-bath, but we want it to be around 2,000 square feet or less. Because you do have to cover all the expenses on the property, including utilities and cheap internet and basic cable, okay? So this one looks pretty decent. Now, the very first thing that we're going to do is look at the walk score. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and copy this. And then we're going to go to walk score. Walkscore.com. We're going to go ahead and paste the address, and we want a walk score of 50 or above. Now, this doesn't fit because it's car dependent, meaning it's 40. So we want to go and find a property that has a better walk score. So let's see if we could find something else. See, this one is, the square footage is a little kind of a little more than what I'd want, but it looks like it's a highly motivated seller because they've already slashed the price 24,000. So we're going to go ahead and type this in and see if we got a better walk score there. All right, so we have over 50, so that's good. So we like that. So this little house here, they want $375 for it. So after putting 20% down and after, going through all the closing and getting your mortgage statement, we're probably looking at around, I would guess, let's just make it clean, $2,500 a month in mortgage payments, okay? And then you have other expenses and so forth. So let's just say that you're looking at around $3,000 a month. So the cool thing about this particular house is that provided that you've already done the research for the need, which is something that I talk about at my 2-day event, you have to do a little bit of research to find the government agencies, departments, and organizations that need this transitional community housing. Once you've established that there's a need, then and only then can you buy a house like this. And then what you do is you set it up. And we also talk about that in the 2-day event as well. And then the other thing that you have to understand is, you need to make it a very safe and awesome place for these people who are retransitioning into their lives and wanting a new fresh start. So that's essentially what you're doing. Is this is a legacy business. Not only are you making 10 times more on your house that you would ever dream of making if you're trying to rent it out to a traditional regular family, but you're helping people reestablish their lives. It's like the best business on the planet. So this particular house, say roughly it'll cost you $3,000 a month for your mortgage payments and to kind of maintain it, plus all of the utilities. It's probably going to cost you more. And then say, for example, you get the middle range. So the range is usually between $800 and $1,200 a head per person who stays in your house. This particular house, you can get up to 9 people because you can get 2 people per bedroom. And if it's a larger master bedroom, you can get a third person in there. So then it would be a total of 9 people in your 4-bedroom, 3-bath house here. So what's cool about this is that if you have an extra room, say for example you have a dining room that has a window, or you have an extra eating area that you don't need that has a window, or say you have a den that would normally be for an office. Let me see if that has any of these things. You can, as long as that has a window, you can convert that into an extra room, and you could very well get another person in there. So it even says there, it says a potential of a 5th bedroom, just add doors. Okay, that's perfect. So let's treat this. So I'm going to do this a little differently, just because let's treat this as if it was, say, 4 small bedrooms. You couldn't fit a third person in any of the bedrooms, but then say now we can create another bedroom, so a 5th bedroom. So we could realistically fit 10 people in this house. This is like a great house for the transitional community housing sober living setup. Okay, and so what we want to do is we want to see, okay, well, what can we think we can get? Well, between $800 and $1,200 per person you're going to get for your house. So say we got a clean 10 people that we can put in this house, 10 people. So then we'll go in the middle range. So not 800, not 1,200, but right in the middle. So $1,000 a person who's in the house. That's $10,000 a month. Now, I had estimated that the total expenses would be around 3. It's probably going to be around 35. So do the math. We're looking at $6,500 a month in cash flow, cash in your pocket. And the cool thing about this whole thing is that if you don't want to buy a house right now because maybe you're not credit worthy enough, you don't have the 20% down payment, you can't borrow the 20% down payment from any of your friends or family. Although if you do explain this sober living transitional community housing opportunity, they probably would invest in you and invest in the plan. But Maybe you don't have it, or maybe you don't want to ask them. That's fine. So you can do something called a lease option rent to own, or what we call subject to acquire this property or a property like it for this program. So your first one or two properties can be completely rented. Now we don't want to rent in the traditional way, because then we need what's called a sublet clause, and we have to let the property owner know what our intended use in the property is if it's not going to be us living there, right? Us signing the lease and moving our stuff in and living there. So the problem is most people are not going to go for transitional community housing. They're just not. But if it's a lease option, rent to own, or subject to, they can care less what you do in the property, because there's an assumption that you are moving in there. You're just doing a lease option, and you don't have the same kind of clauses needed. You don't have the same kind of contracts. You don't have the same kind of lease agreement that you would have with a lease option, rent to own, or subject to. So you can do this business with less than $10,000. And so you're probably like, well, Monica, how do I get to $10,000? Well, guess what? You need to be a little creative. If you don't have good credit right now, fix your freaking credit. I have a ton of videos on credit repair that you could fix your credit and get up to a 720 mid FICO score within the next few months or so, because you need that to be able to get what we call corporate or business credit cards. I've also done a ton of videos on that as well. So what you need to start doing is fixing your freaking credit if it's not good, if it's not at least at a 720 mid FICO. And then once you have decent credit, if you decide that you want to invest in Atlanta, Georgia, then you want to get yourself a Georgia business corporation. Go to amerilawyer.com, have them set up a Georgia corporation for you, and then you can get an EIN, which is an employer identification number equivalent. It's like a social security number for your business, and you use that alongside of your credit to be able to get business credit cards, and you can very well qualify for $25,000 to $50,000 in unsecured credit right off the bat, even with a brand new business. And that's how you get started in a business like this without having to come up with a 20% down payment. You can just basically do a lease option. You'd make sure, of course, you have a nice, good real estate attorney that does the paperwork for your lease option or your subject to. But you basically do it that way, where you can get into the property for around $10,000, maybe $12,000. That could ultimately give you about $6,500 a month in pure profits in your pocket. So I have an upcoming 2-day event that basically shares this entire opportunity with you, and the information is in the box below. So go ahead and click on the link in the box below, and I will share with you exactly all of the, I guess, nuances of this very specialized rental business with you, and exactly how you can profit 10 times more than you'd ever dream of profiting with a traditional rental. So go ahead and go in the description box below. Go ahead and join my training. This is a very rare training, and I'll share with you everything that you need to know about this amazing and highly profitable business. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. It helps me out a lot, as well as subscribe to my channel. This is Monica Main signing off, and I will see you in the next video.